Hello and welcome back, guys. So, in this particular session, what we will be doing is that we will be preparing for Linux Essentials. Okay, so LPI Linux Essentials, right? So, what does this basically do? Right, that might be the primary concern. So, it's basically a certification from LPI, right? So, it's basically it does not have any prerequisite at the moment. So, it's pretty much basic and it contains 40 questions 40 questions and it's 60 minutes. Validity period is lifetime. Okay, lifetime of validity, and then it can be done by uh, pearson view pearson view right? And then what let's see. So what else is here is basically the things that you will learn over here is basically a bit of understanding of Linux, right? That's the first thing. And then second is mostly about open source, and then knowledge of open source applications, right? And then the license as well. License is also there. And next thing that we learn is basically major component of a Linux operating system, and then the technical proficiency for command line from CLI, okay, CLI operations. Of course, mostly when you say Linux, so like it's fun to do everything in Linux, right? Like in terms of CLI. And then we'll talk about basic understanding of security, and then administration work such as user slash group permission, right? And then work on CLI and then permissions and all. Okay, so these are the things that we'll be covering. So let's get started. So these are the things that they have told, right? So even if you see at the detailed exam objectives as well, right? So these are the things that we should be aware about. So distributions, what is distribution, what is the embedded system, what how is Linux implemented in the cloud, Ubuntu, and all, and then Cent, Red Hat, SUSE, right? So we need to talk about them as well. So under Red Hat as well, there is like CentOS, that is for the server, which is a free version, right? And then we have Fedora for desktop. So Linux Mint, Scientific Linux, Raspbian Pi, Raspbian, and then Raspberry Pi, Android, right? So these are the things. Next thing that we should be also be looking at is basically desktop applications, right? So source desktop applications, server applications, development tools, package management, right? Package management tools and repositories. So DPKZ and then RPM, right? These both are pretty much similar, and then apt and then yum, right? So those are those things, and then we need to talk about this org, right? So it's basically first of all, it was I think it was owned by Sun, and then later was bought by uh, Apache. Apache basically bought something out of them, and then after that, it basically I don't remember, man. Like, it's something like that. It's a big story over there. It's still like it basically somebody purchased it, or no, Oracle purchased it, and then it basically gave it away to Apache. Okay, and then that's how basically OpenOffice all happened, and then LibreOffice is same thing, but it's uh, a bit better version, I guess. And then we have Thunderbird, Firefox, GIMP is like an image manipulation tool, right? So Nextcloud, OwnCloud is this is basically concerned with NFS, network file system. So it's basically something to do with file system, okay? Or is it not? Or maybe not, right? So it may not be that as well, but still. So these are NBIX, SQL, Samba is basically a file transfer protocol kind of thing, right? It's not a protocol, it's an application. All right, and then basically used to communicate with MS Windows and then Linux at the other end. So Python and all, so DPKG, I talked about that already, right? So OwnCloud and Nextcloud, let's see what that is, yeah. So we will basically look at that, but let's just get down. What is this? So open source software and licensing system, right? So what is the open source philosophy, open source licensing, Free Software Foundation and OSI, right? So free software, what's the difference between license provided by FSF and then OSI? So this is associated with Richard Stallman, right? Richard Stallman, which just means that free as in not free as in uh, freedom, not free beer, okay? So OSI is basically mostly about BSD kind of thing, right? So they basically have a restriction that whenever you make a modification, you have to give it away. You have to uh, put that. You have to make it open source as well. That's the restriction on it. Whereas OSI does not put any restrictions, so they are also called a bit of restrictive license. So FSF is a bit restrictive, and it's copyleft as well. Permissive is this one, OSI, right? And then we have Creative Commons, GPL, giving public license. So this one is like any subsequent changes that's been made has to be made public, right? Then open source software. FLOSS is also there, right? And then open source business models is there. Next thing is ICT skills. So basically desktop skills, getting to the command line, cloud computing, virtualization, browser, terminal, password, privacy issues, right? Open source presentation and logs. So those are the things that's there. The next thing is basically we get into topic two. Let's see that two weightage, yeah, weightage. I forgot to see it. Two, one, two, right? So okay, two, two, four, five, six, seven, right? So seven over there. For topic one, seven, yeah. Three, two, five, two, seven, two, nine. So nine, yeah. Let's just calculate for everything, yeah. So just 2, 3, 5, 9, 9, and then what is this? This operating system, okay. 1, and then 2, 3, 6, 2, 8. That is 8. And then 2, 2, 4, 6, 7. That's the weightage, okay? So these two are most essential, topic 2 and topic 3. Even others are also so right. Anyways, let's have a look at this topic 2. So what's over here is that we have like we need to have knowledge of the basic cell, right? So bash, born again cell, and then command line syntaxes as well. This basic syntaxes cd, ls, mv, and all. So I think that's pretty much it. So mb, cp, right? So all the basic commands, okay? So touch, echo. Then there is variables as well. So how we basically assign a variable, right? So or how we create a variable, and also quoting. So different quotes, single quotes, double quotes, backtick characters. Then partial list of used terms and utilities. So basically it's the partial list of used files. Okay, okay. So dash echo history as well, right? So history as well is command path environment variable. So how export that variable. First of all, we create a variable called path, and then later on we export it. So type as well. So I don't recall type. In a second, yeah, type is basically, I think it's got to do the type of the file name, but I just wanted to remember the command. Since I don't have it, it's already open right now. So I think I'll open that as well, right? VMware. Okay, I have it in my desktop. Let's just open that and just quickly open that. And then we can have a look, right? It's nothing to worry about. Does not matter even if it takes. Okay, okay, I think we can do it over here as well. Does not matter. So since that is opening up, so in the meantime, we can just be looking over here. So I should have opened up the notes as well, yeah, so that I can just keep track of things, right? Just give me a second, yes. So sorry about that. So right here, we should open up a file, but still. Okay, so my notes is not working properly. Alright, I'm just gonna put txt file and then open it in provide maybe a school. Just open up a folder. This is settings. I just don't want to open it up. But I should, right? Let's just create a new file. Make it something like notes dot. Why am I even defining a file type, right? So yeah. All right, notes is open. Once that is done, this is log into this particular machine. Oops, that's a mistake. All right, now Kali should open quickly. So anyways, let's not get inside the Kali right now. Let's still focus on what we have here on our exam objective, right? So what I want to do is just make it a half screen. Okay, once that is done, so what was the thing that we had to be discussing about? Is that so from which topic was it? I have to look up things. Okay, 1.1. From 1.1, what I have to look at is topic 1. Within that, 1.1, what I have to do is basically from 1.1, what I have to look up about this guy here. And that's the Linux in the cloud. I think I'll just review that topic again. Linux in the cloud. Of course, I was doing the syllabus and everything, but let's just write this thing down as well so that And then anything else you see, Debian, Parla, everything else is pretty much known thing, right? So after that, let's just move on. So in this time, what I have to do is basically look at desktop applications, and then within that, it basically talks about a lot of things. It's talks about Blender, in a lot of other things as well, but still, we'll just be covering that. Anything else that I have to look about? Yep, I have to clear some doubts in development languages, Python, and everything is there, right? So server, it's basically HTTP server for your website, and also NGINX is basically the same thing as well. Databases is over there, network file system, NFS and Samba is basically have to look at Samba. So within the server applications, uh, server applications and then Samba. Since uh, see like this section is basically this you are I think associated with desktop applications. This is regarding server and all, right? So, but still like Samba and all those development languages basically the start. I think if it is respectively or if it is in similar order, then maybe that's true. But I have to look it up here. So this next cloud and own cloud is basically just don't remember that. I know they are a fork of each other. I remember that much. I just have the urge, just have the urge to see it. Just curious about it. So, anyways, since that is opening up. So, yeah, the exam resources are on. So, if you go to view the study resources, you can basically see all of these things. So, it's 1.2, right? 1.2, 1.2, 1.2. So, yeah, open source applications. So all these things are there, blah blah blah, figure and all everything. So it's just giving us example of using DPKG and then APT, right? So mm. so I was telling you. So uh, Office.org was basically owned by Sun Microsystems. Later on, it was purchased by Oracle and then they gave it away to Apache Foundation. So later on, it was again named to Apache Open Office. Okay. So another Office suite is also based on the same source code, so which is called LibreOffice. I think they have proprietary now, something like that. They have a licensing cost which is like basically a bit different. Okay. All right. So math is that, yeah. Draw is that. Okay, those are the applications and all. Okay, so Office applications, web browser. Just don't need to what Blender. Again, Blender is for 3D animation now. So yeah, Inkspace is basically yeah, that's illustrator. Okay, that's what I was. Server programs, right? So what do we have over here? So basically, you can have HTTP servers. So most popular ones are Apache, NGIX, Lite PD, right? It's just hard to remember the names. MySQL and all data sharing is basically network file system, Active Directory, and everything. What is this? So Samba can also work as a thingy, right? So data sharing protocol. It's a protocol. Implements a protocol, but which protocol? It just does not say anything about protocol, right? Let's just look at that. So if the goal is to implement cloud computing solution able to provide various based data sharing to alternatives are basically so file sharing, collaborative workspace, calendar, mail, everything. So these two are cloud computing solutions, right? Cloud computing solutions, which basically provide what? What do they provide? File sharing and sync, collaborative workspace, calendar, contacts, mail, and everything else, right? Okay, okay, got it. Right, that's out of the way. DNS DHCP is not a big deal. All right, that's pretty much it from there. What else? Let's move on. Let's move on to this open source philosophy, right? So I have to revise OSI as well. Initiative. I have to revise about that. Anything that I could be focused on is loss. So they have a different story over there as well. So yeah. This is putting a word of permissive, so basically include restrictive as well, right? Okay, basic IT skills, cloud computing and virtualization. I think that's what I using a web browser, privacy concerns, all those things. Basically, it's about cookie and all configuration options, right? Okay, that's an interesting thing to look at. Browser, terminal, and console, password issues, privacy tools, everything else. Right? It's not really a big thing. Let's go to topic 2.1. 2.1, are there anything else? Not at the moment, not at the type yet. Right. What about this one? Using the command line to get help. Manual paging for page that no output of about them. Just need to be done this way. USR doc, right? Manual P's as well. I have to revise. I always get confusion. This manual K is what slash manual F. I think manual F is associated with this is CF. Okay, what do I do? Okay, that's not what I wanted to do. What I wanted to do was basically do something else. Type, not type, but manual key or keys for any kind of string, right? So what is okay, what is equivalent to? I think it's equivalent to manual app. Yep, it's equivalent to that, right? This is what I wanted to be clear about. Next thing that I should be looking at is basically what is basically that, right? What is an engaged same? I think it's Eporos something. It's like when you don't know anything, it's like this matches up some kind of thing, right? Quickly get it right as well. Just say something where. Yep. Right away. F is basically it's equivalent to what is, and then K is basically equivalent to Eporos. Apropos, right? All right, that's pretty much it. Let's just get out of here. And then let's just be back. So these are the things that I get mostly confused with. All right, so that's out of the way. So locate as well, it's similar to find, and I think we will talk about find and locate in this particular topic. Directories, hidden directories, home directories, absolute and relative path, recursive listing. Okay. This one is price. Yeah, recursive listing. I just can't remember it exactly. So it's basically shows something like a tree, right? So I think it's called tree. It's maybe. So dot and that, home and that. So basically same thing, right? So moving it, touch, I am multi sensitivity, simple log is basically I think it's got to do with I think a regular expression. Should not be a problem. Should not be a problem. So moving and deleting files are all right. So basically that's done. What else is here? So basically they talk about three kind of thing. So BZP in terms of archiving files. So basically we use tar, right? And then BZ2, and then what else is there? Excel is there, and then zip is there, unzip is there, no, zzip, zzip. These are the three things. They operate a bit, they are Linux. They are based on Linux, and then zip is basically Microsoft's format, right? So we'll talk about that as well. There are a bit of difference. So basically, if you create a tar file or zip file from this, it basically does the operation on the same file, but this one basically creates a new file and then does it. Okay, it's a bit different. So we talk about that, how we combine both zipping and all different categories, lossy and lossless. And then what else? So searching and extracting data from files as well. Those are the things that will be covered as well. Command line pipes, input output redirection. So echo, blah blah, right? So you can basically do that, and basic regular expression with, of course, you can extend it as well with hyphen e switch. So we talk about grep, less, cut, short, word count, cut, tail, head. So a bit of experience with that, so it should not be a problem. Still, right? What's that? Wait, three only. So turning command into a script. So awareness of common text editors. Oh, VI and Nano. Interesting stuff, right? VI and Nano. Yeah. I've learned about it a bit. Learned a bit of it. Alright, so I can get around it. So I can go into a script, into a file, and do help, right? Simple stuff. Shebang. So hash thing is like basically define the interpreter /bin/bash running .sh. or invoking batch from here, right? So variables, arguments, loops, echo its status. That was the thing that I was looking at earlier. Other thing, the Linux operating system, I will talk about OS X and Linux, the difference between the different lifecycle management, GUI versus command line, so maintenance, beta and stable, computer hardware such as motherboard, processor, power supplies, optical drives, and also where our device is located. So dev slash ST something, right? Drivers. So it's basically about motherboard, hard drive, and drivers. So it is data stored, right? So basically it talks about, I think, uh, this PS top free. This is free memory. That's operations like taskbar kind of thing. PS is about current processes, but it's static. Syslog dmessage is basically logging messages. So dmessage should be that. I think it's logging messages, not kernel messages for sure. Etc slash and then var log is where slash boot is where the boot file is. Proc is basically something to do with processes. Dev is devices slash shish is basically something system message or something other something associated with system. Okay, once that's out of the way, what we have root IP route so IP config, IP address next at SSHC resolve, so configuration is over here, host file is over here, right? So ping and host and everything is over here. A lot of topic, right? So file permissions and all, right? Oh, user types, basic security and user types. So root and standard users, system users. So etc password, etc shadow, etc group, ID last who W, right? So ID is basically just gives the current user's ID. Last is basically when was the user last logged in. Who am I? It's basically that. A W, I'm not sure. Sudo issue, all these things will be all there. Creating users. So basically user add, group add, right? Add them to a group. Password. Then we have file permissions and ownership. It's basically very simple, right? So I have to look at chmod is pretty comfortable. ch1 Sean should be also very comfortable. I just have to look at the help files, but I just don't remember it. Sorry. So special directories and files. So I'll have to look into that. So symbolic link and hard link, right? So I think ln itself is hard link, lns is soft link. So let's list directory, right? So how do we assign a directory status or like non-changeable things and permissions, and also we'll have to look into that, right? So all right, that's the exam topic. So let's just try and solve some questions. Let's see how much I know this. What I wanted to do was, so it says like a command can be used to abnormally terminate a script with a specific status. So does that really happen though? Let's just say touch ASP.text. Yeah, that's right. So this is using VI, ASP.text. Right, so I think I'm in command mode. Let's go into insert mode and let's say echo something, right? And type in exit.
Here is what I found.
Oh man, Microsoft. All right, write and quit. So let's just make this. Why did I make it text, man? So let's just make it text asp.sh. Right, so that's done as well. So let's just do Alex. think I have to modify that permission as well. Ch mod, not recursive. That's also interesting thing. Recursive that I have to use for a directory kind of thing for all the files, right? This is down. So 7. This is where should do that work. This file name. Let's just import it. Return status. What I could do is basically let's just do it's and let's put this here. Okay, that's an ESP, right? So, okay. Nothing, right? Okay. So I think it just means that it's standard out without any specific status is basically standard out is 0, right? Without any error. So A should be 1. So it's basically we don't have any other options to get out of the script. So basically I think that's what it basically means. Exit. Next thing is which one of the following is not true about, let's see, Shadow. Okay, it contains user expiration information. That's really, it does contain password in hash format, although a user on the system can can have read access to this file. That's incorrect. It contains the UID of the user on the system. I don't think so. I think it does. It does. This is C, right? It's confirmed. So we might be wrong as well. But still, let's just select the answer now first. I think the answer is A. Answer is C. Already we have redacted that as well. But cat it's C shadow, right? Okay. Not everyone has, right? Alright, it has expiration time as well. Where is the expiration time? So hash right there, password hash is right there, right? So what is that? That's the user group. Maybe this is time, maybe this is time, I don't. Can I do that? Called shadow. So I might have to look it up. In Linux, right? Where could the answers be? I think it could be somewhere. Explain, right? Linux side. Okay, that's the definition. Okay, login. Login password, last change, right? Minimum day, maximum day, one inactive, expired, reversed. Okay, so it does have a thing as well. Minimum day, maximum day. Okay, interesting. Date of last change was date of last password change. Okay, it's over here. 1868 1. What is that? Should change. Okay, his password next time. So it's already been expired. That's what it means. But okay, so it wasn't about anything else, right? Okay, anyways, that was the interesting knowledge, right? So C is the correct answer. Let's move on. So a text file gives records in following form. So there is field 1, field 2, field 3, field 4, right? So which of the following commands we use to display only the information in the second field for all records in the file? So we're using cut and then uh-huh. Our delimiter should be defined. And this could be also true. Not this for sure. A delimiter, this is also not true because delimiter does not have to be anything like this format. Let's just check it out. Interesting, right? Let's check it out. At HC shadow, we could do the same thing. No, same thing with shadow. Pipe what? Cut. Pipe delimiter what? Column right. Ah. So that did work. Change. So that means our answer is 50. I think we just found it, but there is a space over here. Why is that? I think this is a typo from the guy who wrote the question, right? So these are few things. Okay. So since you have space in everything, so of course, all right. So anyway, but there should not be any space. Okay, so that's it. Okay, it does work. It does work. I did not know that. I think there should be more space. Right. Just of course, we will need something that's not going to work because we have not defined the limit. Okay, that's what. All right. Which of the following information can be displayed? Okay, that's. I think the best practice would have been just to use a single quotes because nothing has changed, even if it's a variable or something, right? So which of the following information cannot be displayed using net stack? I have no idea about this. This is normally a one because I select how I verify to zero. Okay. Just give me a second. Alright guys, I think the video is getting a bit longer. So what I'll do is I'll just pause over here and then I'll start right over. Okay. So but the answer for this thing is C. Interesting, right? Alright. I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye bye.